Hi everyone, my name is Kerry Bajaj. I am a baby sleep consultant and the author of Sleep Baby Sleep with HarperCollins. Sleep is so important for your child's mood, for their growth, for their brain development, and for their immunity, which of course is more important now than ever. So for today, what I would like to do is share 5 tools. And these are things that can specifically help us right now at this moment where we're all stuck at home. So the first one is white noise. And what white noise does is it provides this soothing, rumbly backdrop for sleep, and it helps to drown out the household noises. And right now, since our houses are like an office and a schoolhouse, and the poor kids are trying to nap and people are on conference calls, I think it's more important now than ever. Next thing that I want to talk about is schedule. For me as a sleep consultant, the daytime schedule is supremely important. It has a huge impact on how the baby sleeps at night. So for my daughters, what I've been doing is I've been creating kind of these anchors in the daytime. So it's kind of these points of stability. Of course, there's an ocean of free playtime, endless amounts of free play. But what we're doing is in the morning, right after breakfast, we're doing our math. We call it morning math. So that's our math lesson. It makes me feel good that we've kind of done one educational thing and we've kind of gotten it out of the way. When we eat lunch together, we're listening to the same exact podcast every single day at lunch. So again, that's giving them a little bit of an anchor. The podcast that I like, it's called Listen and Play by the BBC, and it's simple. It's just a storytelling podcast. I find that when I put it on at lunchtime, it really just helps them to sit down, so they're not running all around the house. It helps them to kind of sit and focus on eating their food. In the afternoon, we actually, after lunch, that's our designated time that we've been doing some screen time. So I mentioned my kids are age 4 and age 5. They're not napping anymore, but we all need some downtime. In normal circumstances, I'm not a big fan of screen time, but right now, this is not normal circumstances for any of us. So I find that by having the designated time for screen time, they're not bugging me during the rest of the day, and I'm getting my rest and my downtime, and they also are getting it too. Then in the afternoon, we do just like a little bit of reading and phonics. Late afternoon, this is another anchor that may help some of you guys. That's when we call our family. That's when we call the grandparents. So again, it's kind of at a predictable time instead of sporadically getting calls all day, because kids don't really like that when you're always picking up the phone. So we make our phone calls then. At exactly this time, my husband does some physical activity with the kids. So he's trying to get them to break a sweat, get their heart rate up, and hopefully tire them out for bedtime. Now, the third thing that I want to talk to you guys about is exercise. Kids need physical activity. They thrive on it, and it's a challenge across the board for all of us right now. Let's remember movement is so important because it helps us release endorphins. Everyone is kind of stressed and anxious. Movement helps us to kind of process the stress and anxiety. And of course, just having the physical activity will help us sleep better at night. The next thing that I want to talk about is actually sleep training. So for babies that are over 6 months, you can do sleep training. You can work on proactively shaping their sleep patterns so that you don't have so many night wakings. I do go through it in detail in my book. This is Sleep Baby Sleep. So in here, I talk about how to approach sleep training. I also talk about newborn sleep, baby sleep, toddler sleep, and I go through all of the schedules from age 0 up to 4 years. So that means the nap schedules and the nighttime schedules.
Audio Jungle.
This is another big one that I always recommend to all of my clients. So what's happening right now with the kids at home not getting enough physical activity is that bedtime keeps getting later and later. So what we can do is, one of the things we can do to try and bring bedtime back down to a more reasonable hour is really simple. All you have to do is just dim the lights after sunset. So I think I'm in Mumbai. I think the sun is setting around 7 o'clock at night. So when that happens, we really build a connection with our kids that sunset time equals bedtime. And so we dim the lights. What I tell people to do is turn off at least half of the overhead lights in your house. You know, the bright white tube lights, we want those to go off. And if you have a lamp, just put a lamp on instead. And just let the energy shift, set the mood, and start building that connection that, oh, look, the sun has set. Oh, look, it's so dark outside. So that your kids can start having a connection between sunset and bedtime. That's one of the really easy ways to start shifting bedtime a little bit earlier.